In the most recent quality of life update of Anime Last Stand, I thought the worst unit of the update was probably Yoriichi, but then he immediately received a buff. So he might be a little bit better than I thought. I hope you enjoy the video. If you do, maybe leave a like or subscribe. But anyways, let's get into it. Okay, you should already know this from the intro, but today we're going to be checking out Yoriichi. And I did accidentally roll a glitch on this guy. I did get a clip of it, but my recording software for my clip is going to have the worst mic ever. Be prepared. No! No! I didn't want glitch on this guy! Nah! But now that I've glitched Yoriichi, I did roll Glorious on him as well. I want to try him out in a bunch of different game modes and kind of see what he can handle. Yoriichi is going to have, of course, Glitched and Glorious right here, Triple S everything, Brute Force Soul, and then the maxed out Crit skill tree. So this should reasonably be the best you can get this unit because most people aren't going to pull Mystical. And I think we'll try him out first with the Holy Invasion. Because if I remember correctly, other than the Infinite Castle, which I have a whole separate video on, this is the hardest first wave content out of anything else in the game. So we're going to run it with every modifier except for the top one. This test is not really for his damage, because obviously the modifiers are going to bring that down, but we do want to see if he can clear it, if he's like a good early unit. This is a pretty hard first wave. We're going to set up towards the back here, so he has a lot of time to farm up and we can hopefully upgrade him. But the first modifier we have, System Malfunction and then Trial of the Gods. It shouldn't debuff him in any way. So this should be kind of like, without debuffing him too much, we're going to try him out here. Check it out here. 260 million off rip. Can he handle it? No. The answer is no. Okay. I mean, maybe with like better crit luck, he did like halfway, which is, I mean, for a total cost of like 4k, it wasn't the worst. I think if we could get like another upgrade on him, or if we had like a godly lead, we maybe could have cleared that. That was pretty brutal. Okay, so he's not like the best early unit. If you're wondering how this guy even got buffed, it was something to do with one of his passives here, so I'll pull it up real quick. So the first Sun Swordsman passive here, here's a screenshot of my initial showcase of him, if you want to compare it. Pretty much the middle part of that passive, with the always doing max total damage part, that was added later, and initially he was not that good. But what that buff kind of means is because of his Solar Flame effect here, if we take a look, the normal Solar Flame effect actually has to ramp up after a while. You can see it starts out as like 50% of the damage and then kind of ramps up every time you reapply it. But because of that buff, he is always going to have the max of 350% of his total damage. So it's a very good buff. Off rip, he's going to be doing 3.5 times his damage from the Solar Flame. Over 9 seconds though, so it's kind of a little bit iffy. But anyway, the next game I want to try this guy out in is the Boss Rush, because we tried out the Survival. But for the Boss Rush, it's kind of the opposite. We of course are going to be fighting a giant boss at the end. And we also want to see his damage numbers in here because we can grab a bunch of like cards that will buff his damage. So we're going to hop into the Garel Rush here and just kind of see how high we can get his damage numbers and try out if he's actually good for late wave content. This run should be a lot more interesting than the last game mode we tried. He's kind of like intended for later content when you actually have to fight a boss here. So if we check him out, the Endless Fear passive is mostly what I'm talking about here. He has like a permanent despair and a better version of fear on a boss whenever it enters his range. So despair is going to make them take a lot more damage, and then fear is going to make them take a little bit more damage as well. And he's also going to do a lot more dot damage to them, and then when they enter 50% of his range, he's going to deal like a damage over time effect, kind of like the Cosmic Aura Dust Storm passive. So he should be a lot better against bosses here, and that's kind of why we brought him into Boss Rush. And we're going to try and grab like as much damage as we can, just to get some funny numbers going in here, because the last game I didn't really get to try that out. So immediately, whoa, look at that boss get dropped actually, hold on. He's got like 7 billion health and he's kind of melting it. He has Despair on there, you can see it. I'm not sure what happened to the better fear, there's no icon for that. But he definitely melted that boss, and that was 7 billion. So that was not like, I don't know, a lot of units can probably do that, but that was still pretty impressive. I think we took a 50% damage buff card from the Boss Rush thing. We have 570 mil every 2.22 seconds here. And that is before we throw down Irwin and Caster Saber. So now I'm going to throw down Irwin and Caster Saber. I'll throw the Irwin ability on auto, the top one, not the bottom one yet, until the final boss fight. We should grab the 100% damage here, we want to see that, oh yeah. And then Caster Saber will max out and get the bells going. Just kind of on auto, he'll get periodically random buffs from that. If you want to read what each bell does, you can. But pretty complicated unit, I'm not going to read every single buff she can provide. So right now, with the Irwin buff, the Caster Saber on auto, and then the cards that we picked earlier, he's doing over 1 billion every 2 seconds, which is kind of crazy, especially accounting for the solar flames, which is going to be 3.5 billion. You know, just multiply this number by 3.5, and he's always doing that much over 9 seconds. Very good damage. I'm not sure how many damage cards we can grab in here. We'll grab like, I don't know, damage per unit place, sure. And that should help him out a little bit. We'll even throw like Caster Sabers back here in the corner of the map. 50 billion right now. Red Archer Blade works. He's melting it. It does have Despair on there. And yeah, he dropped that really quick. Okay. What can I grab here? I mean, I'll just grab range. We don't want to risk anything else here. I don't know. I mean, as for normal enemies, he's not doing too great. Like, I honestly expected him to be better. A lot of people kind of hype this guy up. Seems like to me, though, he's mostly a boss killer. I'll grab more damage here. 25% more damage. He's now doing 1.21 bill for 2.22. 1.52 bill, sorry. It's going up a bunch from our buffs there. And we have Heavenly King here with 999 bill, and he's melting that. Wow. Okay. We could even, like, hold on. Let me make sure I actually throw on Irwin buff here. And check out his damage now. 2.26 billion. Wow, so he's got like 1 billion DPS before the Solar Flame. Keep in mind that this isn't boss rush, so we're buffing him up as much as we can. And don't expect him to be this broken unless you also run him in a boss rush. But I mean, he's doing really good, for sure. We have like a full 3 minutes left on the timer there. And there we go. Pretty impressive, actually. He did a really good job with killing the bosses. Maybe not the best, like, early game unit, but that was pretty good. And I know those 2 game modes we ran kind of messed with his stats a bunch. One of them was nerfing him, one of them was buffing him. So for a normal infinite run, if you guys want a just kind of normal showcase here on all his upgrades and stuff. Same build as before, Glitch Warriors, Triple S everything, crit skill tree. Took off Brute Force Soul though. He's a little expensive to max out, he's just kind of okay. I mean, I want to say that's adding on like 1 billion damage right there over 9 seconds, so pretty good. Anyways, that's all for checking out the buffed Yoriichi. In my opinion, he's not too crazy, he's still just kind of okay. I don't think he's that great. He's a good boss killer, I guess, don't be sad. But boss killing isn't really like a niche that we need when building a team anymore, because you just kind of have like a Gilgamesh or a strong meta unit with a nuke who can just kind of one-tap a boss. I don't know. I personally wouldn't recommend rolling on this guy, especially when we have a free Godly right around the corner, which hopefully is dropping today. I don't know, by the time you see this video it might be dropping today. I'm not sure what the update schedule is even looking like anymore. We're dropping on like Tuesdays, I guess, for ALS. But yeah, that was all for Yoriichi. He's pretty alright. Personally, I'm kind of sad I rolled a glitch on him. He'll just be collecting dust in my inventory. Thank you to my channel members for making this video possible. You guys are the best. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Hope to see you next one. And have a great day.